Hello, welcome students, welcome to this wonderful channel Unacademy JEE English, and today we will be doing a sprint on quadratic equation. Very fundamental chapter. It is the first chapter of 11th class syllabus if you consider algebra. So in this chapter we will discuss problems about common roots, and if you have roots in between some specific interval, location of roots and kind of complex roots, these kind of concepts and problem we will discuss in this session. So it will be very helpful, and you will learn a lot from this session. So let's start, students. This is me, Umesh Garg. I have 5+ years of teaching experience. I have done my BTech from IIT Kurukshetra, and I have also qualified JEE exam. And just subscribe to the channel Unacademy JEE English, because a lot of wonderful session like this will be here on this platform. And do share this video with the tag #JEELive daily, so that it reaches to the maximum number of people. And student, this is the interface that we have created for you, tinyurl.com/JEEmobile. Just type this on your browser, and this interface will pop up. Here you can access all the lectures that are available on YouTube, but here the lectures are available in the sorted format. For 11th class separate playlist, for 12th class separate, chapter wise there is also segmentation. So if you click on the link of the lecture will start, and if you click on the link of PDF will be downloaded. But you must remember that the lectures are in Hindi, and the the PDF available that are in English. So that should be that you should know. Got my point? Now let's talk about Unacademy subscription. All of you know that Unacademy is the best platform in India to prepare for IIT JEE. Recently there is a price drop in 2-year plan. Now you can avail the 2-year plan by just paying the amount 32,400 rupees. But if you are going from 11th to 12th, you can avail the 1-year plan by just paying the amount 27,000 rupees. Got it, students? And now if you apply my referral code UMESHLIVE, you will get a 10% of discount on your subscription value. UMESHLIVE is the referral code. If you use that, then you will get a discount of 10%. Got my point? So let's start with the session. This is our first problem. Number of values of p for which this equation possesses more than 2 roots. Now thus simply, if you read this equation, you can easily understand that this is a quadratic equation in x, because the power of x is 2. So if a quadratic has more than 2 roots, in that situation that quadratic becomes an identity. That is the theory. And for any equation, any quadratic equation, to become identity, the coefficient of x square should be 0, coefficient of x should be 0, and constant term should be 0 simultaneously. That is okay. So this gives me the equation that p square plus 3p minus 2 equal to 0. This should be 0. And the second equation, which is p square minus 5p plus 4 equal to 0. Getting my point, na? Very easy solution. That if a quadratic becomes identity, a, b and c, all the coefficient and constant terms becomes 0 simultaneously. It should happen simultaneously, okay, at the same time. So this equation needs to be 0. So if you factorize first equation, you will get p as 1 or 2. If you factorize second equation, you will get p as 1 and 4, p minus 1, p minus 4. Therefore for second equation to become 0, the value of p are 1 and 4, and for third equation value of p are 0 and 1. Getting my point? Now for these 3 equations to be true simultaneously, we arrive at the conclusion that p should be equal to 1, because if p equal to 1, then it will satisfy all the 3 equations. Therefore the number of values of p are 1. Only one value is there, which is 1. The value is also 1, and the number of values will be 1. Getting my point? Therefore the answer will be equal to B for Bombay. Very simple question, but a very standard concept that you should know, and you should keep it in the mind, because IIT can ask question from it. Getting my point? Very good, students. So let's start with the next question. You are given a quadratic ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, and ab multiplication is positive, okay. And we are given that 4a plus 2b plus c equal to 0. Okay, now 4a plus 2b plus c equal to 0. Whenever I encounter something like this, I always think about one thing. That idea is that what should be the value of x? What value should I put in that equation, so that equation it converts to this relation. So this is the idea that I always think about whenever I encounter something like these equations. So if you look very closely, you can easily understand that this equation is written as f of 2, because as you put the value of x is equal to 2, it will become 4a plus 2b plus c. Therefore this equation can be written as f of 2. Now f of 2 is given to me as 0, because this is 0. So this equation has a root 2. That is, clearly I can conclude, because f of 2 is 0. So ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. It means the one root of this equation is 2. That is confirmed. Now if a equation has one real root, then I don't know that this equation is facing upward or downward. Whatever be the case, this equation will always have two real roots. That got my point? Because this equation cannot have a one root, because if quadratic one have one root, that is for sure it will have two roots. Whether they will be distinct or equal, that is a matter of different idea. We do not know about that, but this equation will surely have two roots. So real roots, imaginary roots, exactly one root. So answer will be, out of these, the answer will be A for Agra. And this is a very important concept, students. You should always think about it, that whenever you encounter these kind of situations, you should always think about the value of x, which we should put, or I should put, in that quadratic, so that that quadratic becomes this relation. There will always, you can easily find out that value. And once you think in these ideas, question will solve like this. Getting my point? Very good, students. So let's start our next question. If this equation, first and second, have both roots common, and so the equation have both roots common, that is okay. Now first write these equation in the standard format. What is standard format? Ax square plus bx plus c, so that I can easily say that, yeah, this is the coefficient of x square, and this is the coefficient of x, and this is the constant term. That's what I'm talking about. So let's write it. I'm writing it very fast, you just listen to me. Coefficient of x square will come out to be 6k plus 2. Getting my point? So 6k plus 2 x square, that will be the coefficient of x. Okay. Now coefficient of x square, and coefficient of x will be rx, and constant term will be 3k minus 1. Constant term will be 3k minus 1 equal to 0. That is the situation. Got my point? Very good. Wonderful, students. Now let's talk about second equation. In this second equation, the coefficient of x square will come out to be 12k plus 4. Getting my point? So coefficient of x square will come out to be 12k plus 4 x square. That's it. Plus px will be the situation, and the constant term, that will come out to be 6k minus 2. These are the two equations that question want to discuss about. That is okay with everyone. Now the question says that these two equations have both common roots, both roots common. So there is a very simple condition, that if these two quadratic equations have both roots common, that a1 upon a2 will be equal to b1 upon b2 will be equal to c1 upon c2. Getting my point? So apply that condition and you will get the answer very shortly. For both roots common, there is condition that a1 upon a2 should be equal to b1 upon b2. Getting my point? No? Very simple. Getting my point? Is equal to c1 upon c2. Now just solve for a1 upon a2. a1 upon a2, if you take out 2 common, it will be 6k plus 2, so it will cancel out each other. So a1 upon a2 will come out to be half. It will be equal to r upon p, and it will be equal to, if you take out 2 common, 3k minus 1 cancel out, so it will also be half. Getting my point? So therefore if you cross multiply, 2r is equal to p. Now the question, what the question has asked, very simple. Question is asking about 2r minus p, so its value will come out to be 0. The answer will come out to be A for Agra. Getting my point? Yes or no? Wonderful, students. Very simple question and a very important concept. This concept IIT uses very frequently for equation for two common roots, both common roots. Getting my point? Wonderful. Next question. This is also very basic question, but it will, if you want to solve it algebraically it will take a lot of time. If you have a very basic understanding of quadratic, it will solve like this. So let's start with the question. A is a non-zero, so it becomes a quadratic for sure, and this quadratic has imaginary roots. Okay, so then we need to find out that a plus b plus 1 is positive, negative, 0 depends upon the sign of a and b. That we need to find out. So what I think, that if a quadratic equation has imaginary roots, then there are two possible cases. If it is facing upward, its graph will be something like this, and if it is facing downward, its graph will be something like this. Getting my point? That if a quadratic has imaginary roots, either one of the case will happen, because it cannot touch or cut the x-axis, so it will lie above the x-axis or it will lie below the x-axis depending upon the a. But problem in this question is that we do not know about the a, whether it is positive or negative. Now there is one other way to say this thing. We can say that the sign of fx is same, will be same, means that fx will be either always positive or it will be always negative. Get my point? That the sign scheme of fx can be easily found out. That is, its sign scheme will be same in the whole domain, in the real number. Getting my point? So if someone says to me that a equation has imaginary roots and it is positive at 0, its value is positive at 0, so if it is positive at 0, it means it will be positive for all the inputs, it will be positive for real domain. Getting my point? Therefore I will use this concept to solve this question. Now I have been given the quadratic as fx is equal to ax square minus bx plus 1. Now I can easily find out the value at 0, because I do not want to be dependent on a and b, because I do not know the sign scheme of and value of a and b. Therefore I put the value 0. So f of 0 comes out to be 1, which is positive. So since f of 0 is positive, it simply implies that f of x will be positive, because f of x has imaginary roots. Its sign scheme will remain same in the whole domain. It will be, if it is positive, then it will be positive in the whole domain, and if it is negative, then it will be negative in the whole domain. Getting my point? So if f of 0 is 1, it simply implies f of x is positive. Now the question is asking me about a plus b plus 1. Now students, just use the concept that I taught you in the previous question. Whenever I encounter this type of expression, I think of the value of x which I should put in the quadratic to come to this equation. So if I put the value of x equal to minus 1, it will come out to be a plus b plus 1. Incidentally it will come out. So therefore this expression is f of minus 1. Now since I know f of x is positive for all real, therefore I can easily conclude that f of minus 1 will be positive. So the sign scheme of a plus b plus 1 will come out to be positive. Therefore the answer will be A for Agra. Got my point? Very fundamental concept, very basic concept, but very powerful concept. It can solve very difficult questions and very difficult manipulations like this only. Getting my point? Wonderful students, wonderful. Next question. If the inequality is satisfied for all real belong to x, okay, it means this inequality is true for x belongs to real, then you need to find the least integral value of m. Okay, let's just first look at the expression. It is a quadratic. Very good. Whenever I see a quadratic, I becomes comfortable with the question, because I have been seeing this since last, if you are in 11th, you must have been seeing the quadratic since last 3 to 4 years. Therefore quadratic is a very friendly expression for us. This is positive, that is okay. Now if you think from the point of view of a quadratic, it is saying that this quadratic is positive for x belongs to real, for its real x. So if any quadratic is positive for all the inputs, we have a very standard theory that its graph should be something like this. It can travel in the x direction, but it will not go downwards. Getting my point? Now for this graph I have simply two conditions. A positive and D negative. Getting my point? So for this graph I have simply two conditions, A positive and D negative. So let's solve with them. So we are given a quadratic m minus 2x square plus 8x plus m plus 4, it should be positive. Getting my point? Yes or no? Now first of all we should solve for A positive. Therefore m minus 2 should be positive and m should be greater than 2. That is the solution number 1. After this we need to solve D should be less than 0. So D should be less than 0. It cannot be equal because the graph is strictly above for it to be positive. Getting my point? So D less than 0, it will be B square 64 minus 4AC. 4 A will come out to be m minus 2 and C will come out to be m plus 4. It is less than 0. Getting my point? 4 common. Actually take minus 4 common. It will become m square plus 4m minus 2m. So plus 2m minus 8 minus 16 minus 24. Getting my point? Because you take out 4 common, there remains 16. If you take out minus 4 common, there will remain minus 16. Getting my point? And it is greater than 0. If factorize this equation, it will come out to be m plus 6 into m minus 4 greater than 0. That is the final conclusion. Now from here I can easily conclude that m will belong from minus infinity to minus 6 union 4 to infinity. That is okay, but this situation, this inequality says me that m should be strictly greater than 2. So intersection of these two will give me the solution m belongs to 4 to infinity. So that becomes my answer. Therefore what we need to find out, the least integral value of m. So in this interval the first integer will come out to be 5. Therefore the answer will be B for Bombay. Getting my point? Now there is one very minor concept or minor mistake that I did deliberately, because I want to discuss this concept separately. Because students, this expression is a quadratic if m is not 2, because if m is 2 then this will not be a quadratic. Therefore for that scenario we will have to check separately. So we will have to check if m is equal to 2, then this will not become a quadratic and this expression will become something like this. So 8x plus 6 greater than 0. Is this equation true for all x belongs to real? Because the question is saying me that it is satisfied for x belongs to real. So if m becomes 2, the resulting equation, it is not holding true for x belongs to real. Therefore m is equal to 2 will not be in my solution. Therefore it will be rejected. Getting my point? Therefore this answer is correct and there is no issue in that. Suppose in some cases it might come that m is equal to 2. This, when the value of m for which this expression will cease to be a quadratic, that value will separately satisfy the inequality and that value will have to be included in the solution. There will come the question of these types. Getting my point? Wonderful question, wonderful. Next, very basic question. Set of values of the inequality. This is the inequality. Half raised to the power x square minus 2x is less than 1 by 4. I am writing 1 by 4 as half a square. I want to make the base same so that I can think easily. Now if there is an inequality in some bases, some numbers whose base are equal, then that inequality will continue be in the power if the base are greater than 1. If the base are less than 1, then that inequality will be reversed. So it will be x square minus 2x. This inequality will reverse itself, it will be greater than 2. Getting my point? If the base of the numbers are less than 1, then the inequality that is in the numbers, that will be reciprocal of that inequality, inverse of that inequality will be in the power. Understood? Now it is very easy to solve this inequality. x square minus 2x minus 2 greater than 0. Now this equation has one root 1 minus root 3 and second root 1 plus root 3. I am giving the those roots as name alpha and beta. Alpha is smaller root and beta is greater root. I will write down the value of alpha and beta for you. Alpha is the smaller root, which is 1 minus root 2, and beta is the greater root, which is 1 plus root 3. Sorry, 1 plus root 3. Getting my point? Now for this equation to be true, we can easily conclude from the wavy curve method that this is plus minus plus. So x will belong from minus infinity to alpha union beta to infinity. Got my point? Yes or no? Now you just need to put the value of alpha. It will come out to be x belongs to minus alpha to 1 minus root 3 and union 1 plus root 3 to alpha, infinity. And what we need to give? Okay, we need to give the answer. Now out of these options, we will obviously this is not the exact options that we are given, so we will need to check that out of these options which is the subset of the given answer. Getting my point? So if you think that 3 to infinity, that will come out to be the subset, because I'll check one for you. Minus infinity to 0. So no, this is a negative number, so let us suppose it is minus 0.73. So it is minus infinity to minus 0.73, but the option A is saying minus infinity to 0. Therefore it is taking some extra values which are not the solution. Therefore we cannot take answer A. Similarly it will be, you will reject B and C option. Answer will come out to be D option. Getting my point? Wonderful students, wonderful. The value of k for which this equation possesses at least one root. Very wonderful question. Now for this situation, students, you will have to consider two cases. First case when exactly one positive root, and second case when the this equation will have exactly two positive root. Getting my point? So case 1, one positive root. Getting my point? Now in this case of one positive root, I can say the graph will be something like this. Yes or no? Okay. So in this case, you can easily conclude that f of 0 should be negative, because this quadratic is facing upward, x square coefficient is positive. So f of 0 is negative. Just solve for it. So f of 0 will come out to be k plus 5. So k plus 5 needs to be less than 0. So k needs to be less than minus 5. So from here it comes the first solution. And we can also draw the graph of something like this. One root is 0 and one root is positive. Getting my point? But I will be discussing this case in the second scenario. Getting my point? I will be discussing this case in the second scenario when both roots are positive. Got my point? Because in that scenario it will become easy to solve the equations. So second case will be when both roots are positive. Both roots positive. So in that situation, the graph that will be relevant to us, that will become something like this. Getting my point? Now for this equation, the conditions are, first of all, f of 0 should be positive. F of 0 should be positive. Getting my point? Second condition is vertex should be positive. So vertex is minus b by 2a. It should be positive. And third condition, d should be positive. The d should be greater than or equal to 0. There should be roots which are equal or distinct. That is a different matter. Now to include this case, now students, to include this case in this scenario, this case in this scenario, what should I do? That I should also take the value of f of 0 as 0. So if f of 0 becomes 0, then also with these conditions we can have this situation also. Getting my point? So this situation I am dealing here because these two conditions are also necessary. So we do not need to solve here also and then here also. With the that will become very easy. So just solve these inequality, you will get the answer. I am solving it for you. F of 0 positive. F of 0 is k plus 5 greater than or equal to 0. So for this we will come at this solution. K plus 5 should be greater than or equal to minus 1. This is the first inequality that I am solving. Got my point? Yes or no? Wonderful, students. So now second, minus b by 2a should be positive. Minus b by 2a. Now minus b by 2a will come out to be minus of 2 times of k minus 1 upon 2, a is 1, it should be positive. So minus minus cancel, minus will change the sign of inequality. From here I come to the conclusion that k should be less than 1. Getting my point? Wonderful. Now third, d should be positive, greater than or equal to 0. Third inequality, third condition that we need to solve is d greater than or equal to 0. Now d is b square. B square will come out to be 4 times of k minus 1 whole square. Getting my point? Wonderful. Minus 4, a is 1 and c will come out to be k plus 5. C will come out to be k plus 5. This needs to be greater than or equal to 0. Yes or no? Now 4 cancel out each other. K square minus 2k minus k, so it will be k square minus 3k. Plus 1 minus 5 minus 4 greater than or equal to 0. Now this is the factorization. K minus 4, k plus 1 greater than or equal to 0. So the solution of k that will come out to be, it will be k belongs to minus infinity to minus 1 close, union close 4 to infinity open. This is the solution for third inequality. I hope everybody must have understood it. Now this is the third inequality. So the intersection of all the three we need to take. It says k greater than minus 1. It says k less than 1. So one second. The vertex can be equal to 0. No, it is not equal to 0. Therefore, the intersection of these two, it will come out to be k belongs to minus infinity to 1. Getting my point? And for this and this we need to solve. So it is saying minus 5 to 1 and it is saying minus infinity to minus 1 and 4 to infinity. So 4 to infinity is out of the league, there is no constraint. And this and this is saying minus greater than minus 5. It is saying less than minus 1. So the intersection of these two, final k will belong from minus 5 close to minus 1 close. So this is the final k, and this case or this case, because in this case we have one root and in this case we have two root. So this inequality and this inequality we need to take union. Getting my point? So for that, the answer that will come out to be it is saying k less than minus 5 and that is saying from minus 5 to minus 1 close. Minus 5 is included in that inequality. Therefore the final conclusion will become minus infinity to minus 1. Very wonderful question, very easily understandable. Getting my point? Wonderful, students, wonderful. This is the final k. This interval and this interval, I took the union to get the answer, because these are the two cases. We have to take or in between them, union in between them. Now next question, all the values of m for which both roots of the equation are greater than minus 2 but less than 4. Now students, this is a standard question of location of roots. Getting my point? So if you want to do it by location of root, there is no problem in that. These are the location, minus 2 and 4. It is saying that both roots are greater than minus 2 and less than 4. Quadratic is facing upward, there is no issue in doing that. That is okay with everyone. But there is also another way to solve it, because this quadratic is very beautiful. M square minus 1 can be written as m plus 1, m minus 1 equal to 0. That is okay. Now these two, this expression can be factorized and it will have the roots as m plus 1 and m minus 1. Getting my point? Yes or no? X will come out to be m plus 1 or m minus 1. Now the m plus 1 and m minus 1 both roots should satisfy this inequality. They should go from minus 2 to 4. So m will belong from minus 3 to 3 for this root. And for second root, m minus 1, it should also satisfy the inequality. So m should belong from minus 1 to 5. Now if you take intersection, it is saying minus 3 to 3. It is saying minus 1 to 5. So the intersection of both these interval, m will come out to be minus 1 to 3. Getting my point? If you take intersection, that will be the answer. So answer will be B for Bombay. Wonderful students, wonderful question, very basic question actually. So for what value of a and b the equation has 4 real positive roots? This is a wonderful question, very beautiful question. You need to understand this in the very acutely, very basically. So students, we have been given this equation x ki power 4 minus 4x cube plus ax square plus bx plus 1 equal to 0. Now there are 4 roots of this equation. They will be x1, x2, x3 and x4. Let us suppose all these roots as x1, x2, x3, x4. I don't know about anything about them. I know actually one thing, that they are positive. So once I hear these words that they are positive, idea come to my mind, that because we are given this coefficient and this coefficient in particular, so just write them. This will correspond to sum of roots and product of roots. Therefore I am writing them x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4. This sum of roots will be equal to 4. This sum of roots will be equal to 4, and product of roots x1, x2, x3, x4. This product of roots will also be equal to 1. Now if you apply the AMGM inequality on these numbers x1, x2, x3, x4, AM of these numbers will be sum of the numbers divided by 4, so it will come out to be 1. And geometric mean GM of the numbers will be their product and its 4th root. It will come out to be 1's 4th root, that is 1. Therefore for these numbers I can easily comment that AM is equal to GM. Arithmetic mean of these numbers is equal to geometric mean of these numbers. This gives me the conclusion that numbers are equal. That is the only conclusion from this equality. So from here I conclude that x1, x2, x3, x4 are all equal. So the value of these variables will come out to be 1, 1, 1 and 1. Getting my point? Because 4x is 4, so x will come out to be 1. Therefore what we need to find out? We need to find out the value of a and b. We need to find out the value of a and b. So a is sum of roots taken 2 at a time, because plus minus plus, so a will come out to be sum of roots taken 2 at a time, so 4c2, and sum of each pair is 1. Therefore it will come out to be 6. Now minus b is equal to what? Sum of roots taken 3 at a time, so 4c3 are the number of ways of taking 3 roots, and each triplet has value 1, because 1, 1, 1 is the values, so it will be 4. So b will come out to be minus 4. So a equal to 6 and b equal to minus 4. Answer will come out to be D for Delhi. Getting my point? Wonderful students, wonderful. So the next question, the value of k for which this equation has roots of opposite sign. Okay, roots of opposite sign means one root is positive and one root is negative. That is the condition. And this is a quadratic that is facing upward, because a is positive. So let me just draw the graph. If any quadratic has roots of opposite sign, one is positive, one is negative, and it is facing upward, it will have graph something like this. That is okay. And for this graph I have only one condition from location of roots, which is f of 0 should be less than 0, because it is downward, negative. So f of 0 will come out to be x0, x0. This will come out. So from here I can conclude that k square minus 3k plus 2 should be less than 0. So this is, because this is f of 0, it should be less than 0. Getting my point? Now factorize this equation. It will become k minus 1 into k minus 2 less than 0. So k will come out to be from the interval 1 to 2. Is yes, the answer is C for Calcutta. Very basic question, very basic understandable question. So student, these were the questions that we need to discuss on the quadratic equation. Very wonderful questions. I think everybody must have understood all the ideas that I have discussed here, So you should revise them again so that you can have a good grasp over the ideas that I have discussed. And if you find any difficulty and query, do comment on the video. I'll surely answer the queries. There is no doubt in that. Okay students, now this is our Instagram handle @Unacademy JEE official. You can follow us and so that you can can stay in touch with the updates that are relevant to IIT JEE, and install the Telegram app and type in your browser tinyurl.com/JEELive and join this group. Already 30,000 plus students have joined this group. Here also we post relevant information about IIT JEE, which will be very much helpful for your preparation. And now let's talk about Unacademy subscription, a very wonderful platform for IIT JEE aspirants. Even in fact, it is the best platform in India, and there are some features which make it the best. The first feature is students live classes. The live classes has a very much deeper impact on your subconscious memory, because your concentration and focus are very much higher. Therefore you should go for live classes, and obviously you can interact with the educator via chat. So if you missed any step or misunderstood or didn't understood any manipulation, you can easily get that rectified on the spot. And there is this feature of pool and leaderboard, live pools and leaderboard. That is a very wonderful feature. The skill of speed with accuracy, that can be easily mastered by this feature only. You can improve your speed very drastically if you practice via this feature. Getting my point? And there is this test series we offer you of India level, where you can check your competition and know that where do you stand in that competition, and give extra input and efforts so that you can reach to the top level. And we give you the live doubt clearing session. That is also very wonderful feature, because doubt clearing is a must for any IIT JEE aspirant. So we offer you live doubt clearing session, students. Now this is the platform of Unacademy. Already 60 plus educators are there on the platform. So once if you subscribe to the channel, to the platform, then you can avail any educator's video. There is no constraint on that. Getting my point? So students, now let's talk about how to join the Unacademy. Very simple. Install the app, make your profile, set your goals to IIT JEE, and click on the get subscription button. Once you click on it, this window will pop up. Hey students, the plan have been written: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year. Got my point? Now recently there is a price drop in the 2-year plan. Now you can avail the 2-year plan by paying just the amount 32,400 rupees. Now if you are student going from 11th to 12th, then you should go for 1-year plan, because that is also very much pocket friendly. And also if you attach, or if you stay in connection with a teacher for long time, you will learn more. Getting my point? And also student, there is EMI option available on the Unacademy subscription for the long time plans, so you can easily avail them via your EMI options also. Getting my point? So just subscribe to the Unacademy JEE English. It's a wonderful channel. A lot of sessions like this will be there in the coming time. Click on the bell icon to get the notification, and do share this video with the tag #JEELiveDaily, and link corresponding to this lecture will be in the description box, students. And these are our YouTube channels: Unacademy NEET, Unacademy JEE, Unacademy Foundation, and Unacademy JEE English. So let's crack it. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.